Hey, allies.
Today we're talking about the seminal movie Casablanca
And we're drinking some rooibos tea.
from Africa.
So Casablanca is, I realized, my favorite movie. I can watch it anytime, anywhere. I find it incredibly moving and compelling, intellectually stimulating. It hits all my buttons.
Mm-hmm. And I've been thinking a lot about Casablanca. I don't think I'm alone for a couple of reasons, one of which is the world that we live in feels a touch analogous.
You know, we're reading a lot about how the Third Reich came to be and, how maybe they could have stopped it, just in case we could learn anything from that.
How they got through because of people helping them.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about Casablanca in terms of refugees.
Yes.
America turned away a ton of refugees, Jewish refugees, right at the beginning of World War II. And Casablanca was originally written as a stage play called Everybody Comes to Rick's by a husband and wife. The husband had traveled with his previous wife to Vienna to help Jewish relatives take their money out of the Nazi occupation. And then they went to the south of France, where they went to this cafe that was full of refugees, all kinds of people trying to flee from the Nazis, and a black jazz singer. And so he sort of extrapolated from that scenario the play that became Casablanca, that they sold to Warner Brothers for $20,000, had been unproduced, which was unheard of at the time. Yeah, so Warner Brothers, two Jewish brothers, decided that they were going to make this movie. It was timed to be released right around the Allied invasion of North Africa, so it was really dovetailing with a lot of news at the time. And it heavily featured a lot of people on the cast and crew who were Jewish, but also who were refugees.
Mm-hmm. I mean, notably Peter Lorre.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, a lot of people's favorite scene, my favorite scene, a lot of people's favorite scene.
The emotional heart of the movie to me.
Yeah. Is the scene in which they play the Marseillaise in
It's the
in
battle
the bar.
of the songs. The Nazis start getting rowdy. They start singing a German song. And Rick gives the okay for
band
Victor
leader.
Laszlo to lead the rest of the refugees in that cafe in singing La Marseillaise.
Which France was occupied at the time, both in the film and in the world. And there's a really poignant shot of actress Madeleine LeBeau singing and crying. I mean, it's just heart-wrenching.
I am, almost going to cry just thinking about it.
And she was herself a refugee. She was French, she's from Paris, and she was married to a Jewish man. And they left just as the Nazis arrived in Paris. They had forged papers. They were able to get out of France, and they were able to get into the United States. And then she's in this movie, and they're playing the song of her country that doesn't belong to her anymore and that she can't go back to. And they're playing it defiantly. It's just one of those great moments that got captured on film that is not acting in any way.
But everything in the film is structured to lead us to this place where it's this ideology of love and support and community against this force of hatred that's trying to eradicate everything.
And using music, using art to combat the forces of fascism, which is exactly what the movie itself is doing, which is something I feel like we can identify with and try and emulate and take solace in.
Yeah, I mean,
now.
The movie is not subtle, but we're not really fans of subtle stuff here on the show.
I mean, we like subtlety when it's really elegant, but we also like
oh my god, I mean,
to tell the truth
this
loudly.
Movie, there's actually a quote on Casablanca's Wikipedia page from Umberto Eco. 2 cliches make us laugh, but 100 cliches make us feel. We feel as though these sort of Homeric people are convening in a room together, these archetypes, and we are just watching in on them. So it works on so many levels.
Because even if you take away all of the politics of the
yeah.
movie and all of the existing context, it is still a great film.
Yeah.
It's still a dialogue about what makes your life worth living.
Yeah.
Whether you do whatever you can to survive, and if that means selling a little bit of your soul, then so be it, or if it means that if you sell your soul, you're not really living. this is a really profound conversation that we have as humans, that over and over and over again.
Casablanca is an incredible piece of American, almost propaganda.
Yeah. I mean, just about anything coming out of the World War II era.
Yeah.
Part of me feels like maybe we're in the situation that we're in because the lessons that we learned in glorifying America during World War II were maybe the wrong lessons. Americans today see World War II through these like rose-colored glasses, and they see victory rolls and they see the Marshall Plan, and they think we were unambiguously good in defeating the forces of evil.
And instead we had Japanese internment camps and thousands of Jewish refugees and children who were sent back to Germany. And we dropped the atomic bomb.
Rick is a problematic fave.
He is. He is the waffling American who doesn't stick his neck out for nobody. Mm-hmm. That's his immediate defining characteristic as he's introduced, and his journey is to realize that there are things that are worth fighting for. So Reed elects to play with an army female characters in Casablanca.
And we can do this. There
are
enough
female characters. I guess I would like to read Ilsa.
Okay.
I think she's got some stuff to say. I think it would be really interesting to listen to somebody who, you know, is working alongside a resistance fighter. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to hear her story, not his story, not her version of Victor Laszlo's story, not the Elizabeth Schuyler story, you know, her story.
I think let's elect Yvonne. Yvonne is Madeleine LeBeau's character, the sort of like barfly girl. But gosh, she has like the emotional intelligence, like the compassion that's needed
to be a great leader.
To be a good leader, yeah. So
we would like to supply with an army the woman in the beginning of the film whose husband is pickpocketed.
Mm-hmm. That actress is Ilka Grüning, and she was a Jewish refugee from
Nazi Germany.
Nazi Germany. She was actually a pretty famous German character actress at the time, and her fame could not save her. So she was able to escape, though, and she continued to have a pretty good career in the United States.
Yeah.
Which is good. That's like a great success story. We're talking about how there were so many refugees involved in the production. They weren't cast for that reason. The producers of the film weren't even aware they were doing it. They were just sort of casting people with the requisite nationalities to play
for the
actual
right accents and
exactly.
It's such a smattering of people in that club.
Yeah, and so they just wanted people from the actual countries in the question, and then they realized that the reason they had access to so many great character actors from all these countries is that they were all refugees and had all come escaping
so in a
European
way,
fascism.
People who are really great at their profession were forced to leave their countries of origin, and then in America it made something better that was American, that everyone in America could benefit from financially, but also emotionally, morally.
It's all about that question that you keep raising about how much better can our product be if we invite more diverse voices into the room.
How much better could our world be?
Anybody who's trying to make everyone around them be just like them is missing out on so much.
So thanks for watching. We hope you liked our video again. If you did, please like it. Please leave us some comments. We love to hear from you guys, truly. Stay tuned because we're fighting more Nazis, and we'll be talking about the man in the high castle.
So, like, that's why any authoritarian government, the first thing they do is they go after the artists.
And the press.